Good morning. It is a beautiful morning in the Highlands of Scotland. Today you have joined me by a very autumnal, which is super exciting, Falls of Falloch. I think I said that right. Falls of Falloch. It sounds right. Anyway, as you can probably imagine, falls, waterfalls, autumnal. Oh, it's going to be special. So I found my first composition, and there's just something about the contrast of these grey rocks once they've been polarised, offset against these autumnal colours. Like, don't get me wrong, I would love it if there was some big bright trees just over there, but there really isn't. So I'm playing with the shape of the water leading up to that little tree up in the background, and it looks like a really nice composition. I'm not doing anything complicated. The most complicated thing I've polarized it. I'm going to bracket the shot so I get all of that detail between the shadows and the highlights, and I'm just going to fire it off, plain and simple, nothing complicated. And there we are, first shot in the bag. Check it out. Last time I was at the Falls of Falloch, I came here as a kayaker. So I was looking at the situation, looking at the rapids, looking at the rivers, looking at the trees. Not really, but I was looking at everything completely differently. So it's very unusual to come to a location twice in my life and to be looking for something completely different in my experience. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. And if I remember, if my memories are as good of this location as they were when I looked at it for kayaking. Because this river, oh, as soon as I arrived here, I knew exactly how this composition was going to play out. I don't want the classic shot that everyone else gets. I want something that screams autumnal, and I think I found it. Thank God I bought that lens, because that is really going to come in handy right now. So I've got the shot all lined up, and the image is going to be all about this branch just up here, the way it covers that blue sky and helps frame the main waterfall over here. I have got an idea to give it scale later on, but for now I'm just going to capture this beautiful scene, and I'm going to jump into the back of my camera so you can see what I'm looking at. So there we are. So I've got this beautiful waterfall just down here, the big branch coming across the sky up here, and then I've chosen so the water what comes out to the right hand side, leading up, centralized waterfall, boom, beautiful image, can't ask for anything more. I'm going to focus stack. I'm going to start off with on the tree, then I'm going to focus on the waterfall in the middle of the image, and yeah, super excited about this exposure. It just seems to have worked like beautifully, and I've seen many pictures from the Falls of Falloch, and I've never seen anyone get a shot like this. So you never know, this might be a first. Fingers crossed. So what I'm finding is happening is every so often the wind picks up and I'm getting loads of spray over my lens. So this is a really good technique to keep that lens clean. Give it a wipe, give it a dry, and then once the wind has stopped, reveal the lens, fire. Got your image. Beautiful. Now we just need to capture the waterfall. I captured the tree above, now just for the next part. So I've captured that image. Here it is now. Absolutely stunning. But there's one thing that I'm not sure about, and that is the fact you can't tell how big that waterfall is. Don't get me wrong, there's lots of water moving and everything like that, but you can't really tell the size of it. So what I want to do is I want to put myself into the scene to give it scale and also get a cool image of myself. So there's a little cliff just up here, and that is where I'm gonna stand and put it on a 10-second timer. Hopefully that'll be long enough for me to get round and that lens won't get too wet. This is the problem with not having a photography buddy to come along. But I think with that autumn tree, the light at the moment, that waterfall and me in the scene, not that I'm gonna add to the scene, but I'm gonna help give scale. This is gonna be one hell of an image. Maybe, I don't know, one to go in the portfolio. Anyway, so I'm gonna put myself on that rock and get this image. So I got the image and I'm really happy with it, but there's something that I thought that might be interesting for you, and I'm going to show a comparison. So I decided to go for a sitting position. Here's the image. And the reason why I went for a sitting position is because if I'd stood, then I would have overpowered that waterfall. I would have been too big and I wouldn't have given scale. I'd have taken away from the scale by being overpowering in the midground. And I'm going to take another image with me stood there and you'll see what I mean by that. So now if you look at the image, me kneeling there and me stood there, you'll see what I mean. Like, I'm not actually sure off the back of my camera which one looks better, but I definitely take a bigger emphasis away from that waterfall by me standing there. And that isn't what I wanted to do. I want to complement the waterfall by giving it size and strength and power. But cool shot, cool location, super happy. Now I'm going to have a little play around at this scene and see if I can find any other compositions here. So I've come above the falls now, and this place is starting to remind me of the fairy pools on the Isle of Skye. Look at them steep canyons. All I need is them steep canyons and then a beautiful autumnal tree just above, and then that'll probably be my final image for this vlog anyway. But what a location. Definitely don't just get stuck at the tourist trap, the big falls. Come and explore. So it's quite funny. I was just saying that I really needed steep cliffs and a perfect tree above, and that's what I was stood underneath. That perfect tree above the steep cliff. And to add to that perfectness, as I've got this beautiful bit of water that's rushing in from the left hand side, hitting the wall on the right, and then leading right underneath that beautiful autumnal beech tree. It couldn't have been any more perfect if I'd built it myself. And look at the way it's lit up right now. I'm gonna get a shot before it's gone. So I got that shot. Oh, woo. Autumn, water, perfect lines, grey cliffs. There's only one thing that would have made it better, and that is a polarizer for that lens. I think I'm gonna have to do it because I'm gonna swap lenses now, and I'm gonna use my other lens, my 24-70, that does have that polarizer. To capture this image, I might have to stack, and I might have to do loads of weird things, but it needs that polarization to give that richness to them colors. So I'm gonna do a quick swap over, and then I'll show you the results of both side by side. So I had a little go putting that polarizer on, and then, I don't know, I couldn't tell off the back of my screen whether it did make them colours more punchy, or which one I actually preferred. But when I get back onto the computer, I'll know, but you guys will already know by that point, because here they are side by side. It'll be interesting to see for me which one actually looks better. But I am going to carry on wandering up this river and see what else I can find. But I'm not going to carry on the vlog. I'm going to stop vlogging here, and I'm going to just go out for an afternoon of shooting, I think. Capture some images. So if you are interested in seeing what I've captured further up this stream, make sure you check out my Instagram, Kieran_H_photography, or even my Facebook page, Kieran Husbands Photography. And you never know, some of these might even make it onto my website for sale. But that is going to be all from me this week. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Autumn is here. Get out there, get shooting, and go to these classic locations. But don't just stay at the classic shot. Explore the area. There's a reason why these areas are classic and are photographed so much, and that's because they are beautiful. And this place, without a doubt, is mind-blowingly beautiful. But I will see you next time. Have a lovely weekend, and yeah, peace out.